Hello everybody and welcome back to Operation Logistics, where we are currently determining what direction we need to rotate our road intersections when they're spawned. The good news is, for the three-way road intersection, there is no other way to rotate it that is wrong. So we can just say rot equals vector3.0, and we're done there. Our rotation is complete for intersection three-way, because we are using all hex rotations. So we don't actually need to rotate it whatsoever with the three-way intersection. With the two-way intersection, on the other hand, it's a bit more complicated than that. So let me pull up the game here and show you what I mean. As soon as it compiles, there we go. And let's hop on in here and check our roads here. And as you can see, we've got ourselves some three-way and some two-way intersections. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom to our sub-hexes. There we go. And you can see right here, this three-way intersection, it uses all three directions that the roads can go. So that doesn't need rotation whatsoever. This, on the other hand, we can see is on road 1, and road 1 goes not there. That's road 2. It's road 0. Road -1. Where does road 1 go? Road -1, road 0, road 0, road 0, road 2. Okay, this is where road 1 goes. So road 1 is here, and then comes in this way. Hang on a moment. This is road 2, road 0, road 2, road 0. That's interesting. So road 1 and 2 are going the same direction. They joined together for a little bit, so this might not actually be a three-way intersection here. That's very intriguing, because this is not on a road. This is not. So this is, and this is. But this, oh, and this is as well. But this, well, that is, as is that. Okay, there's a lot of roads going on here. I think this is correct. That's an intersection, road, road, intersection, road, road. Okay, so I think this is correct. But maybe it doesn't need to be. This is a little exciting. We're going to need to have some pretty complicated logic for this, but that's okay. So realistically, this is on no road. This is on a road. So let's actually abandon the intersections for now. It'll be easier to see those once we figure this out. So figure rotation. I think we'll need more complicated logic for this. Might need more complicated logic. Okay, I think we'll need more complicated logic for that one, but for right now, I think we need to determine why our straight roads aren't being spawned currently, or if they are, and actually we can get rid of this at this point. And up here, spawn road. We're going to go ahead and take spawn road equals true out of here, because we don't necessarily want to spawn the road. Oh no, for road entries we do. I think this is... yeah, this is just road entries here. So down here we don't need to. And I think we should go ahead and set spawn road to be false. Well, not necessarily, actually. Okay, let's see what this does as it is, as it stands right now. I just need to see what's going on. Okay, it's just spawning intersections right now, and road entries. So, the question then becomes, if it equals buildings.road, okay, so if road entries.contains subhexes I, let's go ahead and make this an else, because these are kind of special entities. And then these down here, this will be an else if for if this is not true. So we now know that we are not spawning road entries if we're doing all of this. This else here is going up to here. So that's not really what we're looking for there. Actually, it is. This is fine. It equals intersections, and then if we're doing spawn road, yeah, this is fine then. So up here, I'm going to go ahead and say spawn road equals false. So now we should only theoretically be spawning our road if we are... And actually, we've already determined that we're not at a road end, so we can actually get rid of all of that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. This will require a little bit of refactoring here. Okay. This here is linked where? It's a good question. Okay, let's take all of this here and go ahead and shift tab to bring it over. I think if subhexes I.building equals buildings.road. Yes, this is correct. It just needs to be shifted over and brought up. Okay, we're good. So we now know our position. We now know whether it's a straight road or not, and we're spawning the road if it's a straight road. So theoretically, well, this is happening if we know it's straight up and down. And then this is happening otherwise. It's not necessarily true. And now that I think about it, realistically, if one of these returns false, then we know it's a corner road of some type. But this needs to be if both are not equal, right here. So else if... And then we can just actually copy this whole parenthetical here and say if both are not equal to this, then we know that this is a... Well, we don't actually know that it's a straight road yet. But if this is true and these are true, one of these, then we know it's a straight road. But only if both of the previous position X positions are not actually... Well, previous and next position. This is getting really complicated. I don't blame you if you're not following me. Again, leave me questions in the comments if you have any, about any specifics thing that's happening here. So, if our previous X positions are both not equivalent, and one of these two is true, then we know it's a straight road. However, if both of these are true, and neither of these are true, then we know, else, this is definitely a corner. Let's figure out what type. Okay. So we know for a fact that it's a corner at that point. And we just need to figure out what type of corner it is. I'm going to go ahead and, as a temporary, say road equals road corner. And spawn road equals true. This is temporary. So I'm going to go ahead and say this is temporary. There we go. Okay. Now, theoretically, it should be spawning. Maybe. Let's find out. So it should spawn corners if they are corners, but it doesn't know if it's a sharp or a not sharp corner yet. And it should be spawning straightaways as well. Okay, so it spawned a lot of corners, but we can actually kind of see what's going on here. So we've got an intersection here between roads 2 and 1, or road 0 and 1. So we've got... This one here is road 0. This one is road 0, and it does indeed corner. This one is road 0, and it does indeed corner. This one is road 0, and I believe it corners. This is an intersection between 0 and 1. So then 1 comes in from here. This is actually road 0, and this is road 1. So this is a correct intersection. So hypothetically, I'm going to go ahead and manually rotate these a little bit. So this road should be right about here at about 240 degrees, thereabouts, okay? This intersection should then be rotated to about right here, 120 degrees-ish. I mean, actually, it's still not technically right, because this is actually a... That's interesting. This is not an intersection here. So this is road 1. This one here is road 0. And this is also road 0. So this should actually be a corner piece because it chose to go this way. And with that being the case, we've got this road here, road 0, to road 0 here. This should be a straightaway, actually. So why did this not come out as a straightaway? Well, that's a good question. So we know that the y value here is greater for this road, and the y value here is lesser. So greater, lesser. So let's check the code here. It clearly did not correctly trigger that this is a straightaway. So if previous position.x and next position.x is not equal to our position, which is true, both of them are off over on these sides, then it checks to see if the y position is greater here and the y position is greater or is smaller there. Oh, I know why. Because we do need to be doing a vice versa here. So let's go ahead and parenthetical both of these. Because what's happening here is it's saying previous position needs to be greater than and next position needs to be less than. But it's actually vice versa. So we need to go ahead and do a parenthetical here and then do an or statement. Copyright? Just copy this on in. There we go. And we need to just, at this point, invert this. I mean, technically it should have gotten it here, right? Previous position.y is less than, and next position.y is greater than. Yeah, it should have gotten it there instead. Because we are doing the vice versa there. I'm going to delete that. That was a bit of a mistake. So, okay. So we've got ourselves this situation here then, where this here is on road 0 and only road 0. This is a previous position on road 0. It's an intersection. Maybe that has something to do with it. But I am noticing that it spawned purely road corners. So realistically, this Y position, if we go into global, we can see, and I guess, hang on a moment. What am I talking about? It's Z position. I'm on the wrong axis. Oh, I can't believe I did that. It's not position.y, it's position.z. Of course it's not going to return that it's different. They're at the same Y position. We're in a Y up axis. Come on. Come on. I know this. That's very annoying. That's not a mistake I should have made. Okay. That's more like it. So, let's go ahead and hop on in here, and let's take a quick look. So, this is road 1. This is road 1. This is road 1. Okay. Excellent. So, it got that this was a straightaway, but the main issue, I think, is that it's just rotated the wrong direction. So this road is rotated at 0, 0, 0. Which means that it thinks previous position.z is greater than. So this is the start here. We know that this is the start. So previous position here, .z, is greater than. Oh, yep, that is correct. Okay, so in that case, we just need to flip around our rotations here. There we go. Now our straight roads should work perfectly. Theoretically. Ish. That looks a bit more like it. Okay, so this is on road 1. This is not an exit. I'm not sure why that's returning straight. Because we don't have an X position check. That's why. Okay, so we need to then... We do need to add a parenthetical here. Absolutely. Here and here. Because we need to be checking to make sure that that previous and next positions' X positions are not the same as each other's X positions. If they are, then we know that it needs to be a sharp corner. Aha! Yeah, because we know that it needs to be a sharp corner there. If they're not equal to each other, then we know that it needs to be a regular corner. Aha! We're on to something here. Okay, so instead of doing the parenthetical here, we can go ahead and say the parenthetical can go here, and we can say and then do another, not curly braces, another parenthetical. And then we can say if previous position .x is not equal to next position.x. And I need another I here. Okay, so if their positions are equivalent, then we know what type of corner we need. We'll make that check down here. So if their positions are equivalent to each other, we know it's a corner, and we know it's a sharp corner. Now, that doesn't account for sharp corners from the top. So, down here, let's go ahead and say, let's go ahead and get rid of the this is temporary, and let's say if previous position.x equals next position.x, then we know for a fact, because we've already checked here to see if it's a straight road, and we're in this else. So we know for a fact that it's not equivalent to our current X position. So we know for an absolute fact that we need a sharp corner. So road equals road corner sharp. And then we'll say else down here for right now. And we'll put this in here. We don't know what rotation we need yet. However, we can figure that out pretty easily because we can compare it to our X position and find out which side of the hex we're on. So let's go ahead and say something along the lines of down here. And like I said, this doesn't account for coming in from the top or the bottom. We'll need to check for that here in a moment. In fact, let's go ahead and say check for coming from top or bottom as a sharp corner. Okay, so we know our road equals road corner sharp, and we can determine which direction we need to rotate relatively easily based on that. So if we know the two previous position and X position are equal. So if previous position.x is greater than subhexes i.transform.position.x. So if it is greater than, so if we come over here and go into our hexes as an example, into our subhexes. I'm gonna, well, subhexes. I'm going to hide the subhexes for now, so we can actually see what's going on here. So if we are, say, here, and the X position is over here, we've got these two as our next. So that is an X increase. We know for a fact we need to be angled this direction, right? So we can go ahead and say something along the lines of road corner sharp. And I'm going to place that right here for now so we can actually... Where is it? So we can actually see what's going on. Are we rotated incorrectly? Where exactly is this? It should be visible. Do we have no mesh here? Road corner sharp. Why is it completely invisible? Is it just that small? I think it's just that small. Okay, hang on. Road corner 0.01, 0.01. So no, seriously, where is this thing? Okay, well, at any rate, we can figure out to some degree... Oh, I know what it is. It's because I put it as part of the subhex. So it was inheriting the... It was inheriting the scale. That's what it is. Okay, so the default rotation, as we can see, is right here. But if it's greater than, then we need to rotate it along the y-axis about negative 60 degrees. Which, of course, would be 300 degrees. Okay, so we know then, in this situation, that rot equals new vector 3, 0, 300, 0. Okay. Else, we can assume at this point that it would then be less than. So we would then say it equals what? This minus 180. So minus 180. No, 300 minus 180. There we go. 120 degrees. Okay. So we then know that it needs to be 120 degrees. There we go. So theoretically, once it compiles, I'll turn subhexes back on. There we go. Theoretically, sharp corners should now be working and correctly rotated. Although I don't see any sharp corners there. Nor there. Nor there. Okay. Why are we not seeing any sharp corners? Because we don't have spawn road equals true. That would help. That would help a lot. And like I said, this doesn't account for sharp corners coming in from the top or bottom. Still don't see any sharp corners there. Road corner sharp. And yeah, we just don't have any generating. Did I typo something in my checking here? If previous position.x equals next position.x, road equals road corner sharp. If previous position.x is greater than subhexes i.transform.position.x, then we do this, else we do this. And then spawn road equals true. So this must not be returning true if previous position.x equals next position.x. Now it's possible we just don't have a sharp corner generating, but I find that unlikely. Like for example, let's take a look in here. And let's see, for example, let's look at this guy. On road 0, this is road 0 here, this is an intersection. Well, this should actually be a corner. because this is the road 0 intersection here. So this should be a corner going up this direction. I'm not sure why that generated as straight. Because the X position here, if the two X positions are both equal to ours, or if our, if previous position.x is not equal to next position.x, and previous position.x is not equal to our position, and next position is not equal to our position. So this position is equal to our position, though. 0.087? 0.173. That's intriguing, to be sure. Why are those X positions so substantially different? Unless it's looking at the local position? Like, can we have this in global position, please? I don't think we can, unfortunately. Because, yeah, that is an issue. These X positions are supposed to be identical. Is it a rotation issue? No. I don't think it's a floating point issue. But yeah, looking at this, none of these X positions are actually the same as each other. And it is a rotational issue. But we're not in global. Like, for example, if we were to unrotate this by 30 degrees, so we're pointy top Texas again, okay? I realize things are a bit out of whack right now, but yeah, the issue here, I believe, is probably that rotation for the flat top Texas. So, let's see here. In that case, it should never ever be equal on the x-axis, right? And it should only be equal on the y-axis? But we want the global position. And we're using the global position, right? The position of the transform in world space. Yeah. Which I think is what we're supposed to be using. Because in world space, that should be equivalent. Okay. Well, it is time to put a cut in here. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and next episode, we'll try to figure out what's going on with that particular issue. See you all then.